Okay, so here we're setting up for practical test 4.1 in marine science. We're not doing the first part, we're going straight to the second part where we're testing the food stuff. So here I have the food stuff, some apples, some eggs, some fish, some shrimps, and some bread. Trying to go with the marine theme. We have some petri dishes to work with here. Over here we have the station for grinding things up. We have the grinders here to grind things up, and we have the ethanol here and distilled water to do the fat test with. Over here we have the bioret test standing by, so we can test for protein. Over here we have the iodine standing by, so we can test for starch. And last but not least, this part of the lab here, I set up a hot water bath, and we have the test tubes, and then we have the Benedict solution, so we can test for reduced sugars. Soon the class is going to come in, and I'm going to explain how to do the test and explain the safety methods, and then we are going to get started, and we'll see that in part number 2. So the students here take some bread, and they're going to do all 4 tests on the bread. Test for fat, starch, sugar, and protein. So we are doing the test for fat here. The food stuff is being ground up with ethanol. And once we have food stuff in the alcohol, we will then test with demineralized water to see if we have a wide layer formation. It's important to grind up the food really hard and add a little more alcohol. Add a little more alcohol. So really get the smoothie out there. Are you good? I told you it's going to be smelly.
I just got a whiff of it.
Yeah, a little more alcohol.
I bet it's less smelly than the post-mortem of a 2-week-old Cheeto.
No, but it's that is how it smells if you have vodka and fish and chips and throw up on the way home. Add some pure water to a test tube.
Do it over the sink.
And then we pour in some of the alcohol solution carefully and see if a white layer forms. All right. Let's see here.
Yep.
Do you see the white layer formation?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's fat.
There is fat in the fish. Does that surprise you?
No.
All right. So here you can quite clearly see the top white layer in the ethanol test, showing that there were indeed fat in the fish. So we are done the protein test for shrimp.
Okay, starch.
And what would you say the test is?
Positive. Do you believe this?
Yeah, I'll give you this very purple, which means that there is protein in the shrimp. Is that a surprise? No, it wasn't suspected. Cool. So we're doing the starch test here for the fish and the buttering of the fish, and it turns black. Oscar, what does that mean?
There is starch.
There is starch. Does that surprise you?
No, because there's bread on it.
No.
Let's do starch with apple.
Now try to do the starch test just on the fish. Try to remove just a piece of fish without the top on it. Now, do you think there'll be starch in this?
No.
Let's see if you're right.
There's a little bit of
There's a little bit of starch
But I think that's just for the bread.
Yeah, I think that could be.
left over from the bread, maybe. But there's clearly a difference between the topping here and the fish itself. Great result.
I think we need more Benedict sauce.
So add some more Benedict to it.
Let me add some more sauce to it.
Add some more Benedict. Careful. Careful. No, just be careful.
Do we do protein?
How much Benedict sauce?
Like that. That's good.
All of it?
Yeah, that should do. Now, if there's sugar in it, it will now within 2 to 3 minutes change its color from blue to yellow to red. Now, you're testing shrimp now?
Yep.
What do you think you'll see?
I don't think it's going to change a lot.
All right. Why?
Because there's mainly protein in shrimp.
You're mainly protein shrimp. Good. Now we'll test. We'll see if there's any reduced sugar in the shrimp. We're going to do the reduced sugar test here for apple. And here we can't expect to see a result. So pour a little of test liquid into it. Of course, we're wearing iPro as we're working with corrosive. Just give it a good squirt. A little more. We have a lot of water in there. Just mix it around a little bit and give it a little more of it. A little more test. So right now it's only blue. But now I place it in the hot water, and if there's reduced sugar in it, it will, once it gets about 80 degrees, it should start changing color. So now I just have to leave it here for a minute or two in the hot water. So now after 1 minute, we can already see a color change. Try lifting it up a little bit. It's already turned bright yellow. Very nice. Which means there's a lot of reduced sugar in the apple. So here you see the test for the shrimp. A very positive protein test. I'll say non-conclusive, looked like a negative test for reduced sugar. A fat test that shows fat. And a starch test that shows no starch. Very well done, group. Very well.